Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to our beautiful, moody sanctuary tonight. So, unfortunately, that's as much light as we can manage for you because of the renovation. The electricity has been on and off and on and off all week, and at the moment it's off, even though it should be on. So, enjoy the mood lighting, and it'll be difficult to read the book, but that's okay. We can just enjoy the music, sing along, be part of this beautiful Shabbat experience of relaxation. Also, the candles are in my office, which we're not allowed to go into because of there's lead stuff. So we have last week's candles, but that's okay because they will still work, and it will bring the Shabbat joy and peace and blessing. So please bring yourself to this moment and this space. I will start with a beautiful reading. Every week is different. Some weeks contain fulfillment, creativity, and joy. Other weeks bring pain and disappointment and loss. Whatever this week has brought, we sense a need to step back from it, to reconnect with our tradition and our community, to draw on its reserves of wisdom, to take time to remember which things are important, to search for meaning, and to rediscover what is holy. And as we draw the light towards us, I invite you to join me and gather with you in your thoughts, in your prayers, all the people you love, all the people you're thinking about. Bring them into this moment together with you, and let's say the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Page 134. We begin with the third line down, page 134.
Zamru l'Adonai bechinor, bechinor v'kol zimra, bechatzotzrot v'kol shofar. Hariu lifnei HaMelech Adonai, Yiram hayam umelo, Tevel ve'yosh ve'var, Neharot imcha u'chaf yachad, Harim yaranenu. Lishpot haaretz, lishpot tevel betzedek, v'amim b'mei sharim, kiram hayam umelo, tevel ve'yosh ve'var. Neharot imcha u'chaf yachad, harim yaranenu. Yiram hayam umelo, tevel ve'yosh ve'var. Neharot imcha u'chaf yachad, harim yaranenu. Yachad harim yaranenu.
These words from Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel. The Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of night. Eternity utters a day. Where are the words that could compete with such might? 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things, of space. On Shabbat we try and become attuned to holiness in time. 6 days a week we wrestle with the world wringing profit from the earth. On the Shabbat, we care for the seed of eternity planted within the soul. The world has our hands, but the soul belongs to someone else. Page 138, Lecha Dodi. This is the song with which we greet the Shabbat. We greet that moment where eternity utters a day. We will sing a number of verses. As we get to the last verse, I'll invite you all to stand and face the door as we literally usher Shabbat inside to join us and be with us.
שמעו וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המאוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי היא מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה קומי צאי מתוך הפיכה רב לך שבט בעמך בך והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה
We rise now as we greet Shabbat and invite her to enter and be with us.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה גם בשמחה וברצון חולה תוך אמוני עם סגולם בואי כלה לך דודי נקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה
Offer the traditional greeting to the mourners in our community this evening. Hamakom yenachem etchem b'toch sha'ar avalei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May God bring you comfort together with all those who mourn in Zion and in Jerusalem. Amen. Please be seated. These words from Rabbi Lawrence Kushner. Each lifetime is the pieces of a jigsaw puzzle. For some, there are more pieces. For others, the puzzle is more difficult to assemble. Some seem to be born with a nearly completed puzzle, and so it goes. souls going this way and that, trying to assemble the myriad parts. But know this, no one has within themselves all the pieces to their puzzle. Everyone carries with them at least one, probably many pieces to someone else's puzzle. Sometimes they know it, sometimes they don't. And when you present your piece, which is worthless to you, to another, whether or not you know it, you are a messenger from God, an angel. Page 140, third line down, Tov lehodot l'Adonai.
Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer, ulezamer, l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Ulezamer, ulezamer, l'shimcha elyon. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Lehagid baboker chazdecha. Lehagid baboker chazdecha. Ve'emunatcha v'aleilot, ve'emunatcha v'aleilot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Lehagid baboker chazdecha. Lehagid baboker chazdecha. Ve'emunatcha v'aleilot, ve'emunatcha v'aleilot. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot l'Adonai. Tov lehodot
I'd like to invite you all now to just take a moment, be comfortable in your space. If you'd like to do so, close your eyes and just bring yourself to be fully present in this moment, right here, right now. Take a deep breath in and then release it. Listen to the sound of your breath and focus on the descent of night, its velvety blackness wrapping us all in a place of warmth and comfort. Feel the peace of Shabbat as she floats in with the stars, ethereal and beautiful, peaceful blessings resting gently upon you and upon the world. Listen for those sounds of eternity as we link in these moments with the past. We hold hands across time. The Shabbat, the ancient chant which sings the peace of a moment and of a day. You can hear the song as you relax and enter fully into the Shabbat. This time sheltered from the struggles of the week, from the stresses and the pressure, the conflict, the pain, everything is pushed away as the Shabbat and its light and peace enter into your soul. You feel the brush of the Shabbat angel's wings as they flutter and brush you with the magical energy of this time. An oasis, a haven, a palace filled with the best of who you are. A place where you can sit and reflect, where you can remember your hopes and your dreams. your deepest wishes for yourself and for the world. And in these sacred and precious minutes, you feel the light and energy surrounding you. I invite you to focus on a beautiful moment from the past week. Maybe it was a smile or a gesture, a thought or an idea. Perhaps you felt loved or appreciated. Or maybe you felt gratitude or peace or joy. Sit for a moment with those feelings and allow them to guide you gently into the Shabbat as you breathe slowly and deeply in and out.
Adonai Malach Geut Lavish Adonai Ozit Azar Afti Kontevel Baltimos Nachon Kisacha Meaz Me'olam Ata Adonai Nasu Naharot Kolam Yisu Naharot Dokyam Mikolot Mayim Rabim Adirim Mishpereyam Techanemnu me'od leveitecha nava kodesh Adonai le'orech yamim Yadadai dai 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 Yadadai dai dai dai
A flame in the sky flaunts the remains of a tired sun. Darkness encroaches, marking a long day's end. Yet we know this final moment is a beginning, the farewell call to a noisy world of care and burdens, to enter a sphere of hope and peace and prayer. We suspend our souls in God's eternity. We cross over God's holy bridge in time with the words of Baruch Hu as we come together as a community and cross over into Shabbat. Page 146. Page 146, I invite you please to stand.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. We're on page 149. Page 149, and I invite you to read together with me in the English. Praise to you, eternal our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, eternal our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Page 150, a prayer speaking of God's love for us.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו למדת על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו וקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו למדת כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם בלילה ואהבך אל תסיר מאימנו לעולמים. אהבת עולם בית ישראל עמך אהבת תורה ומצוות חוקים ומשפטים אותנו למדת ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ולכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורתם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית וריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריכם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Page 158, page 158, Mi Chamocha, the song our ancestors sang when they reached the shores of the sea. They celebrated their freedom, and we celebrate that with these words tonight. 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם, נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם, נורא תהילות אוסף אליהם, אוסף אליהם.
Page 160, page 160, we come now to the Hashkivenu prayer. This is the prayer that asks that a shelter of peace be placed upon us, that we be wrapped in warmth and love, sheltered and protected. And as we come to this prayer, I invite you to direct your thoughts to all those who need healing at this time. For some, it will be a healing of body. For others, a healing of spirit. We think of all those people who at this time need to feel the love and support of community, bringing them strength and courage and hope. Those who need to feel peace and wholeness, who need to feel the comfort that comes from knowing that prayers and love surround them and embrace them, bringing blessing and light and hope. Maybe it's you who needs our prayer tonight. Maybe it's someone close to you, a friend or a family member, or perhaps it's a stranger, a community. We invite you to bring into your prayer all those people who need to feel it tonight. Let it be the shelter and the haven and place of peace for which they seek. Our prayers this Shabbat are for all those who need to not feel alone. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha. God, spread over us your shelter of peace.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ופרוץ עלינו סוכת שלומך ותקנו ביצה טובה מלפניך. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים.
I invite you to read together with me in the middle of page 161. Give us a place to rest, eternal our God. Bring us into the shelter of the long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Blessed are you, Eternal One, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, over Jerusalem, and over the world and all peoples. Baruch atah Adonai haporech sukat shalom aleinu, v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al yoshvei tevel. And we say, Amen. We rise, page 162, page 162, V'shamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. בני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם.
We continue now with the Amidah, the silent portion of our service for this evening. We go from page 164 all the way to page 180, 180. If you want to pray the traditional words, you read just the right-hand side of every page, just the even-numbered pages. On the facing pages are some meditations, reflections. You may wish to choose one of those, or just spend these moments for your own personal prayer, reflection, meditation. When you've completed your prayer, we invite you to be seated. If we continue and you haven't finished yet, just take your time. Reconnect with us when you are ready. 164 to 180.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. 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 יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ויעקב ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ויעקב ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. 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 יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ויעקב ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ויעקב ישראל. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו.
Now I'd like to invite all the young people to come forward. Good, she just came back in time. And invite everyone please to stand, page 122 for Kiddush. And I once again offer my excuses for no chocolates because they're locked in my office, which is contaminated and we can't go in. But next time, I promise, 2. Come on. Come on down. I see you hiding away. And fair enough, but 2.
השישי, ויחול השמיים והארץ וכל צבע עם, ויחל אלוהים את יום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט היום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. וישפוט אלוהים את יום השביעי מקדש אותו, כי בו שמט מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר ברא במצוותיו ועצבנו. בשבת קודשו מערבנו ושון נפילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית. תנו יום תחילה מקרא קודש, זכר מיציאת מצרים. כי בנו אכלת ואתנו קידשת מכל העמים. בשבת קודשך ברחבה ורצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני קדש השבת.
I have grape juice. You can drink. You two can share because you're in the same house. But unfortunately no one else can. Yisimchem Elohim K'Ephraim v'Chim Menashe K'Sara Rivka Rachel v'Leah. May God make you like our ancestors, like Ephraim and Manasseh, like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yikuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God bless and protect you. May God's face shine on you and be gracious with you. May God's presence surround you and bring you peace and a beautiful, sweet Shabbat next week when I have all the lollies and chocolates back. And we say Amen. Keep an account. I know you will. And you can take as many as you want next week. Please take a seat. Sorry, guys. She can stay. It's all right. Yeah. You can stay here. Oh. Right. This week we read the story of the 12 spies who were sent out to scout the promised land. They return with a glowing report of the land, its beauty and its bounty. But then 10 of the 12 spies say that although the land was pretty incredible, there's no chance that they're ever going to be able to dwell there because it's inhabited by giants. And they say we looked like grasshoppers to them. The rabbis are intrigued by the way this passage is expressed, and they notice the spies don't say that they were small in comparison, but rather they consider how they would have appeared to the inhabitants of the land, and they allowed that perception to define them and determine their actions. 2 of the spies encourage the people not to worry about how they may or may not appear to others, but instead to trust in who they are and to believe in themselves. They are rewarded for their faith by being the only ones in their generation to enter the promised land. From this episode, God realizes that the people are not ever going to be able to trust themselves or God, that they're beaten and downtrodden from their years of slavery. They're still living in fear and under the rule and definition of others. Even though they're physically free, they're not able to shake off the shackles of their enslavement, and that they may never be healed from that trauma, no matter how many miracles they experience and how many triumphs they encounter. The people still continue to use that definition of others and to use that definition to determine their destiny. So tonight, a story I've told once before, but it's such a compelling and I think powerful story, I wanted to tell it again tonight, about a group of boys who refused to allow the opinions of others to define them. Gloria Steinem tells the story of a group of boys in Spanish Harlem and their teacher, Bill Hall. The area of New York from which these boys herald is tough, and many people living there are immigrants. And Bill was charged with teaching the group of students English as a second language. Many of his students were new to America. They came from poor immigrant families with parents bewildered and overwhelmed by their new culture, their new country. They were working hard to navigate life and try and keep their children safe, and just to earn enough money to get by. When Bill met his students, he saw their very real struggles, and he knew he had to find something that would bind them together. He decided that chess was going to be the opportunity. These students were generally struggling amongst their crowd. Chess was definitely not cool, and the principal of the school thought it was a big waste of time. But Bill wanted to try, and so the principal allowed him to do so. So Bill set up a chess club for his students at the school. A quite large group began in the club, but after a short time they dwindled to a dozen students. Their friends made fun of them for staying and playing chess. Their parents thought they were wasting their time. Chess was never going to help them get a job or achieve anything, but despite the criticisms and the opinions of those around them, the boys kept coming. They began to learn, and their skills at chess began to improve, along with their skills in English. Bill, their teacher, encouraged them, guided them, and unlike so many others in their lives, he believed in them. They started to participate in chess games. Bill paid their subway fares, bought pizza dinners with his own money, and the boys felt like somebody really cared. Despite the fact that everyone else defined them as not intelligent, silly for believing this could be something they could do, they kept going and began to really shine. And this new sense of competence and confidence extended to their classwork. Their grades were improving alongside their chess ability. They called themselves the Royal Knights and began to believe that they really were able to achieve great things. They cared for one another, they supported each other, and this disparate group of students who came together because they happened to be in the same English class and not for any skill in chess, won the state chess finals, and that made them eligible for the high school finals. They were to take place in California. Everyone told them they would not be able to go, but they raised the money and they finished 17th out of 109 schools. While they were there, they met a Russian chess player and decided they wanted to play in the Scholastic Friendship Games, which would take place in Russia that year. Again, everyone said they could never get there, and again, they were wrong. Pepsi Cola supported them, and the Royal Knights were on their way to Russia. For their first games, they were daunted by the discipline and the skill of the Russian players. They began to doubt themselves, but then they played a Soviet grandmaster in his 30s to a draw, and their confidence returned. It also turned out that their street-smart ways made them incredibly good at speed chess. When they returned to New York, they believed they could do anything. They had faith and confidence in themselves and each other, which built a shield around them, protecting them from the prejudice and opinions of others. A few weeks after their return, one of the boys did extremely well in a test. The teacher didn't believe he achieved the mark without cheating, made him do the test again. He excelled again, and the teacher, instead of admitting and apologizing for the mistake, seemed angry that the boy had done well. This was the kind of bias that they had been internalizing, but now they had the self-esteem to resist. The boy said to Bill, "Maybe that teacher was jealous because we put this school on the map." And they had. Through their chess successes, every principal in the area now wanted a chess team, and the Royal Knights were being offered scholarships to various high schools, entrances into programs for gifted children. They now had career plans for law, accounting, computer science, and the team had become its own support group, all encouraging each other to accept the offers and to dream big dreams. When they were asked what they were doing before the Royal Knights, there was a long silence, and one of them said, "I was hanging out on the streets and feeling like I was nothing." Another said, "I was taking lunch money from other kids and a few drugs every now and then." A third said, "I was lying on my bed reading comics and getting yelled at by my father." So what changed, they were asked? Was it the school books that made a difference? No, they said. Nothing made a difference until Mr. Hall thought we were smart, and then we were. Too often, we see ourselves as grasshoppers in the face of giants like the Israelites. We listen to the negative voices telling us that we are nothing and we are small. It's so hard, but we need to try and block out those voices and not be defined by others' negative impressions of us, and instead try to find that inner strength to be all of who we are, embrace our own uniqueness, and become the people that we want to be. Shabbat Shalom. We continue page 586. We rise for Aleinu, page 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ירוצה בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו
page 598, page 598. At this time, there are mourners in our community to whom we extend our sincerest sympathies on the passing this week of Phyllis Freeman. There are those who are remembering someone who passed away in the last 30 days. At this time, we remember Daniel Silvers, Ferdinand Fauchul, Yitta Lawrence, Paul Olborn, Sheila Korn, Michael Lilienthal, Tommy Simoth, Bessie Aronson, Eve Spicer, William Bill Winter, Arnold Abeshouse, Stephen Norden, Henry Mendelssohn, and Gay Lack. We observe Yahrzeit this Shabbat for Paulina Alperovich, Semyon Alperovich, Pauline Oslander, Alfred Bayer, Esther Billig, Frederick Black, Hannah Block, Jack Brandon, Bessie Rebecca Cantor, Oswald Lewis Cantor, Ruth David, Solomon Diggerman, Magda Dorsey, Charlie Dubovitz, Hyman Dyke, Coleman Fram, Abraham Morris Fredelis, Zelman Freeman, Albert Bumi Fried, Lily Gold, Nathan Gold, Dana Goldrick, Vonnie Goldman, Rosemary Govinda, Solomon Grinberg, Morris Albert Gabai, Alan Guthrie, Sandra Harris, Jan Heffernan, Rachel Jackson, Mietek Michael Kolofsky, Lily King, Max Christian, Julia Lamberger, Isaac Jack Levy, Morris Alexander Lieberman, Bernard Linker, Alice Lowy, Pat Lyons, Barney Millstone, Hetty Morris, Joseph Newstall, Evelyn Pearl, Bertha Pisk, Michael Pincus, Wallace Roden, Samuel Rosen, Lily Rosenblum, Maya Rosenwax, Valerie Issa Rosenwax, John Seaman, Leah Scher, Jeffrey Simons, Gerda Stern, Michael Stone, Vera Stone, Frederica Tauber, Maria Warfig. We also add the name of someone who was murdered in the Shoah. This week we remember Lottie Weigel. Are there other names to mention at this time of mourners Kaddish? Amelia Roselle. Alicia Gross. Zichronam livracha, may each of their memories forever be a blessing. We say the mourners Kaddish, giving thanks for the blessing and the gift of each of their lives together in ours. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divra kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'hayechon uvyom echon uvhaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevarach le'alam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudasha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God send peace to all those who are remembering at this time and strength to all those in mourning, and we say amen. Please be seated. I want to acknowledge the people who have travelled the furthest to be here in our services this Shabbat. We have the McMahon family from Killaloe in Ireland, so we are very grateful that you are... I got it right? Okay. I never quite know how to pronounce it, so I hope we did it right. But welcome back to Sydney for your annual visit. We are so happy to have you here, and we celebrated a bat mitzvah with you not that long ago on Zoom, so it's very nice to see you all in person and in the community with us. So, those of us who are complaining about travelling from the North Shore or something, just remember Ireland, it's a little bit further away. And we welcome everyone who's here to celebrate Shabbat with us together tonight. I want to thank our incredible musicians, and are so grateful for the three of you, for your presence and for all that you do and bring to this community and congregation through the really, really special and beautiful music. And I want to give a special shout out to Remy, who spent all week at music camp and is still here playing and singing and doing all of those things with us. I had a dream last night that you came back with no voice, and I had to... So
It's a nightmare.
it was a nightmare, and I'm very glad that didn't happen. So I'm very grateful that you're here, and thank you so very, very much. And we want to wish Mazel Tov to Ollie, our sound genius at the back, who got married this week. So we're going to sing for him.
Simen
Tov,
Tov,
Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Yelanu. Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov.
Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Simen Tov. Hey lanu, hey lanu, Ubechol Yisrael. Israel, David Melech Israel, Avekaya, David Melech Israel, Avekaya.
Mazel Tov, Ali and Ro. I hope she can watch this back and have all of our love and best wishes, and a huge Mazel Tov to you. There are not many people that we would get up for a dawn wedding, but Ollie is one of them. So it was a beautiful celebration. So Mazel Tov to you and to Ro, and may there be many more years of happiness and blessing here with Emanuel Synagogue. So we are going to conclude with Adonalam, page 625, and as you're turning, just to remind you that we have our comedy night coming up. We have 5 comedians headlined by Michael Schaefer. I'm just blanking on his name, Michael Schaefer, and it's going to be a very fun night. It's adults only, so it's adults only. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I know. So make your decisions. We'd love to see you there. And, it's cold, it's winter. It's a really good time to have a good laugh together with community. 625, Adonalam.
Adon Olam, Hashem Malach, B'terem kol Yitzi Nivra, Leit Nasa B'chefzo kol, Azai Melech Shemo Yikra, Be'acharei לא תעקור לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא הווה והוא יהיה בתפארה והמשילו להכפירה בלי ראשית, בלי תכלית, ולא העוז והמזרח, והוא אלי וחי גולי וצוחב לי בעת הרעה, והוא ניסי ומנוס לי ונת כוסי ביום אקרא. היה 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 ביעדו אף כדרוכי ואין תישן בעירה, ואם רוחי כביעתי, אדוני לי ולא אירא. היה, 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 oh, 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 hey, 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 oh, hey, 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 oh, hey, hey, yeah, hey, 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 hey,
I knew there was something I forgot. I forgot to mention that the next 2 weeks, so the 1st of July and the 8th of July, there will not be Shabbat live. I know. We have amazing musicians who are going on tour and they're going on holidays and everyone's going to be away except me. And you don't want me in my maraca pretending to be Shabbat live. So there are a few of us around, but not very many. So we're going to just take a little 2-week break. So I'm really sorry that I didn't tell you at the beginning so you could really savor this week's Shabbat service. But we might see if we can put together something online for people to watch Shabbat live online the next 2 weeks, even though we're not going to be here in person. But then we'll be back and everyone will love it so much more. So for the next 2 weeks, only one Friday night service, the Masorti. I'd like to ask you please to rise for a final blessing. May we all have a week ahead filled with joy, with love, with warmth, with laughter, and lots of moments of believing in ourselves. Adonai oz la'amo yiten, Adonai varech et amo v'shalom, Shabbat shalom.
2, 3, hey, 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 hey,